Something else happened at Worlds. Brodie Smith rented the driving range for the disc golfers to warm up on because apparently the PDGA didn't think that the pros needed a place to throw and warm up and get ready before the biggest tournament of the year, one that hasn't happened for 2 years because last year's was canceled. So
Which there was a
Brodie,
little bit of flack from. I saw Charlie Goodpasture post something about that, and he said, "I think it's very unfair that we had to drive into nets, and then he rented it out later. So then a lot of the players that were playing in the morning in the earlier rounds didn't get the same opportunity as them. So he felt he was shorted, even though he still gave all credit to Brodie, which I think the PDJ totally flopped on that and did not, play well. I think the PDJ gets a lot of flack as it is, but point being is that they should have definitely rented out the whole thing because, again, like one, that's the disc golfers are upset because a lot of them didn't get the same opportunities as some, but also ball golfers showed up and they were trying to play or just to go to the driving range, and then they were denied access to the range because it was reserved for disc golfers only, thanks to Brodie.
yeah, you said you found this Reddit post for me that said it's in our golf, so not a disc golf subreddit, it's the golf subreddit. Which, funny enough, they have 387,000 members, and I think disc golf has like 150,000. So we're catching them, guys.
Yeah,
We're
slowly surely.
we're almost there. But apparently, it says the title of the post on our golf is "When to Practice at a Local Golf Course," just to be told they're only allowing disc golf today. Blasphemous.
Blasphemous.
Which is pretty funny that
Well,
you're.
I think it's like, I for one, I saw some comments. It's like, why when you call in, and why wouldn't you check what the course as it is? Because if it was a PGA event or anything like that, of course you're not going to get any of the course to yourself. And I mean, it's with disc golf being so new as it is, I think that you're getting a lot of slack from golfers, especially when they even did do Glendevere. I mean, a lot of the golfers when I was setting up and helping, um, they seemed a little annoyed with all the disc golfers there. They still got half their course, which I feel like um, they still had some opportunity to still do what they wanted to do and play golf and not be completely subjected to no play. But it's one of those things that's it's a transitioning sport, and I think it's one of the fastest. It is. I think I've read that it is the fastest growing sport in the world right now. But it's exciting to see where it's going to go. But these are the situations that we're running into that I think the PDGA really needs to step up their game when it goes to especially world's events like this. Like, if you're playing such an elite tournament that is like this is worlds. You'd want to have the opportunity to provide every opportunity to each player to harness their full potential and skills. And it sucks that some players were shorted, that they had to only throw into nets because it wasn't allowed. And then by the time Brodie Smith actually got the reservation and whatnot, other cards had already started. They weren't able to actually get that opportunity. So I can see the frustration in that, but it all goes back onto the PDGA. And I want to say I read this. Don't quote me on it, but I think I saved it. I was going to send it to you. Um, Someone had said it. Okay, begin PDGA staff reports. Finance as of March 31st, 2021. The PDGA has a total asset of $7,223,409, as compared to the $3,852,747 as of the same time in 2020, representing an increase of 3,370 or 3 million. We'll just say almost 3.5 million. The total equity during the same period was almost a little over 5 million, which represents our net financial position: assets less liabilities. So you can see how much they've increased in their total amount of revenue just from I guess the pandemic and everybody else joining in. So to say that they aren't you know able to fund something like that, it's hard to say. But then again, you don't really know where everything else is going and what that all is. And I wouldn't even guarantee quote that as they're true. I just read that through passing, but I didn't fact check that.
I Yeah, we don't know if that's fact checked or whatever, but I mean, we both know that disc golf has grown. What I've heard is that disc golf has grown more in the last year since the pandemic than it did in the previous 25 years before that.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that joins the PDGA pays like $60 each, right? So like my number is 101326, and I think they're up to like 17. I don't know.
I think we just ran into who were we playing with? It wasn't Tad. It was the other guy that
Joey.
was on it. Joey, and he was just got his membership. I think it was a 1-7 because mine's 119 128. And I signed up 2018. So,
I signed up 2018 too.
and yours is
Uh,
what?
101326.
Yeah. So you probably just gotta just
Okay, so I'm 101326. The highest, most current member, Andrew from Haverhill.
Andrew. Shout
He's
out.
1183511. So
Oh wow.
80,000 new members since I started in 2008 or whatever it is. Um, Actually,
So
let's
you're thinking
just
about 80,000 times the $60, and that's just, I would say that's just AM. That's not even open. That's not even professional. So I mean, most of the people signing up are definitely not signing up
so I
professional.
signed
But
up I signed up in 2017. It looks like.
can you sign up as MPO?
Um, I did actually sign up as pro when I started, but that's a totally different thing. Uh,
So that's what I'm thinking. Some people that have been playing for years that could have signed up within this amount of time. That I'm not saying every person that signed up did amateur, because I'm sure that there's some that signed up that were like, I've been playing for a lot of years. I just never had a membership, and I feel like I'm on that higher playing level. So like you're saying, minimum at least 60, some up to 100. And then there's also the, you can get like, become a ace member, or whatever the other clubs you can get into, the ace club, and all the other perks that go with that. So who's to say people don't push that? Point being
well,
is oh, go on, sorry.
I was going to say that's just the memberships,
Okay.
right? And I'm sure there's costs that um, are associated with the memberships. Like
Yeah,
you get a
you get
disc
the
and you
disc.
get a
Yeah,
little dog tag, and there's probably paperwork that is factored into that $60 or whatever it is. But then you're also getting, I want to say the PDGA gets that extra $10 if you're not a member when you sign up for a PDGA tournament. You have to spend an extra 10.
correct.
I want to say
Hmm.
the PDGA gets that, and I know there's a ton of people that don't have a PDGA membership that play tournaments.
Hmm.
And then I want to say that the PDGA gets a portion of the sign up fees for all PDGA sanctioned events.
So they're always getting cut. So his point being in this whole situation is, why couldn't they pay for the $1,000? Why couldn't they just
Yeah.
reserve it in the first place? Not even say it was
So
at $1,000. It's just like, why didn't they have the preparation in that aspect?
so yeah, like you said, they have like $7 million in assets, or whatever, like doubled from the year before. So they're like making good money. And I know my buddy signed up during the pandemic this year, and he didn't get his like
I just got my card literally 2 days ago,
yeah. So he
and
signed
I
up like
signed up. Yeah, exactly. So
it was like delayed, like his like disc package or whatever is delayed like 6 months or something crazy. So like they're so backed up that it takes like 6 months to get somebody their new players pack thing once they sign up for the PGA. So
yeah,
they're just like, I don't want to say like swimming in gold, like Donald Duck meme or whatever from um
Scrooge
the
McDuck.
Scrooge
Yeah.
McDuck or whatever. But they have a ton of money, and the PDGA World Championships is the biggest tournament of the year. It's ran by the PDGA. It's like where you showcase the best golfers in
This
the
is the
sport.
elite. This is the top tournament. So
All the pros talk
the ball
about
was
it.
dropped. Hmm.
You They have tons of sponsorships. Like Grip Six is sponsoring the tournament, right? And I'm sure they had to spend tens of thousands of dollars to sponsor the event, to have their logo being on the front, presented by Grip
With John,
Six.
exactly.
Then you have all the other sponsors like Bushnell and UDisc and all the other flyers and things you see
Yeah,
on the
and the other
course.
disc, manufacturers and stuff as
All
well.
the disc manufacturers, like almost every one of them. I saw like when I did the run up to Worlds, the logo that I found had like Latitude, Innova, Dynamic, Discmania. Like they had like 5 logos around it, which I'm assuming
Uh,
means that they're like a big time sponsor in the event.
exactly,
And by big time, I mean like 10,000, $20,000, I would guess.
exactly. That could be
Something
minimum.
decent amount.
Hmm.
Uh, and they couldn't rent a driving
So
range for
that's
the
the thing,
pros
is
to
like, I
warm up
don't
on.
know, and we truly don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So like, there could be certain situations, but I mean, for as cheap as it was, for $1,000, you would think that that's something they could definitely afford. But these are situations I think that they get flack for, and then next year they'll make it better. Hopefully, I mean, these are the situations you go through trial and error. But I would think that if it's getting as big as it is, and we're actually getting ESPN coverage as well as other coverage, you'd think you'd want to really give every opportunity to the players to you know work out whatever they need to work out before they're around.
Yeah, you should have like talked to Bushnell and been like, "Hey, we want to have you sponsor our driving range. We're going to have Bushnell distance
Great idea.
markers on the course, and so your sign's going to be Bushnell 100 feet, Bushnell, 150 feet. Bushnell, 200 feet. You know what I mean? Like
But,
that
like,
would
a
be an
great
easy.
idea. No, that it's that's so smart, Tanner. So smart.
They should hire me. But what's crazy is you have
Don't
Brodie
listen to
Smith,
this.
who is a YouTuber. He's had a, he has money from other places than disc golf. He's not just a guy that's like making his money from B tiers during the season, right?
Correct.
And he's the
Spot on.
one ponying up $1,000, which is probably less than what he's going to make at Worlds, because he's not. I mean, he's in cash. It looks like, or he made the cut, but realistically, he's probably going to lose money to play Worlds this year because he's probably not going to cash more than $1,000. I would guess. So you're like, people don't like Brodie, and there's like a lot of like hate on him. I personally think that he's bringing a lot of like new ideas, and at least being like the the squeaky wheel, if you will, to like start conversations to make disc golf more uh, legitimate. Because
Mm,
if people don't know, Brodie tried to become a pro disc golfer or pro golfer before he was a pro disc golfer, and so he was playing with ball golfers, like figuring out, he knows how they get paid, the payment structure, like how much you pay in and how much you get as a player, how much money people are making from sponsorship deals, like how tournaments should be ran and like how coverage should be done, like all that kind of stuff. I feel like he has pretty good insight, maybe more than anybody else on the tour, because I don't know any other disc golfer that has tried to become a pro golfer. You know what I mean?
it's a really
So
good point.
I don't know. I think he has a lot of good things to say, or a lot of
Yeah,
good things to do for the sport. And the fact that he just like knows that the pros should have a warm up area and nobody else is doing it, especially the PDGA, the association that everybody is like playing for, and like the tournament is made around for the last whatever 19 since 1979 or whatever the first World Championships was. Like, I don't know. I feel like that just tells you who Brodie is as a person. Like he just is like, he just couldn't be at the World Championships and not see a warm up area, and he just
right.
ponied up the money and just said, "Screw it!" Like,
I'm gonna
um,
do this, and I respect that more than people know. But I think it's one of those things that credits due where credits deserve. So I it's one of those things that I guess we'll see what happens in the following year. Maybe
yeah,
this is like maybe this is just I'm trying to think. I know that there's been a lot of ups and downs. I mean, with getting the cards out and everything going on with the pandemic, and getting memberships shipped to people and with the sign up. So I'm sure there's just an overwhelming amount of everything that goes with that. But who knows, man? I don't know what goes behind closed doors. I can only give my opinion of what I think goes on with that, but I don't know the full story.
I mean, if you're the PDGA, I feel like every year you have your whole year lined out,
Hmm.
and you have Worlds is like the first thing you put on the calendar. You know what
So
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, I can't argue that.
I don't know what else they're doing.
No, and I completely agree with you. I think that this is going to be the biggest event of the year. Um, And it's sad that they didn't have the marketing idea, like you just said, like, "Hey, Bushnell, like, you sponsor this, we'll get all your markers out there. You can have like 200, 150 feet, whatever it is. Hey, and like maybe we can make it weird. Like somebody smashes an ace, we'll throw a basket out there at 450 as somebody hits it while driving. Hey, here's 25 bucks, whatever it is. Like here's
Yeah,
a free Bushnell rangefinder. Um, but then again, it's getting their sponsorship out there, and it's like for a low cost too, because like who knows how much they put into getting their name out there and to be sponsored. So like you said, with Grip Six spending X amount of money to get their name and get that elite sponsorship and have it publicized so often, um, you would think $1,000 is not much to be spending to actually get that publicity and I guess just e- experience out there, whatnot. I'm
yeah.
at a loss of words for what I'm trying to say.
I mean, to just give you some context, the Disc Golf Pro Tour was in Portland, right? Both you and
Mm,
I saw, how the tournament was ran. You saw it before the tournament was started. I was
mhm.
there during the tournament, and the ball golf course at Glendevere, they had two
Yeah,
18-hole courses. So maybe they were like, maybe the ball golfers were all right with just golfers being on the course because they could play another 18-hole course.
yeah,
But I know that all the pros had the driving range to themselves. It's like the ball golfers were shut down from driving range. And I'm not sure how much that was extra. I'm sure it was just kind of talked about in the contract as far as like, hey, we're going to bring you this big event to you. We're going to get a lot of new people to be, exposed to your course, and we're going to put it on coverage. This many people are going to see it. Like 60,000 for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, 200 whatever thousand for Jomez, 180,000 for Gatekeeper. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like they could put out these huge numbers for exposure to their course, and I'm sure that like getting a warm up area for the pros was like just something that was not even an afterthought. It was like just like a given. Like we need a place for the
Exactly.
pros to warm up. Whereas like you go to Mulligans for Utah Open, they were just there the week before. I wonder if the Utah Open had a warm up area.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't hear anything about that.
I don't know, but it's just like
Yeah,
I feel like the PDGA is just like getting a bad rap, and maybe it's like growing pains. Like maybe they're not
they're
being
just
able to
growing
cope with all the new members and things.
exactly. Like you're saying, when you have an influx of people, like if that statistic is true that you're stating, that more people signed up this year than combined of all previous years. I don't know if they were really expecting that. With COVID, I mean, everyone's kind of expecting to sit around, and for some reason, disc golf became this huge attraction, which is great. I love it. But yeah, maybe they just weren't ready for that, and then they have their mind in so many other spots that they're just not really paying attention to that. But then again, it goes to like hiring people that are actually going to, grow the sport and have the understanding that you do right there, where it's just like, how can we benefit from this? Like, no, there's no practice throwing. It's like people are throwing into a net. Like, I don't know. There's just so many moving parts there that you'd be like, we need to fix something here. But um, like I said, I don't really understand their side of the story because there's always two sides. So maybe they'll come out and be like, "Yeah, we dropped the ball and we just didn't pay attention to that." Or I don't know. I think if you were the PDGA, maybe you would come out with a statement and be like, "Hey, we really respect Brodie. Like, we're going to reimburse it. Whatever it could be that you're going to try to make men's right." Um, I don't know. I would do something, but at the same time, who knows if they're going to do anything? They're like, "Sweet, we don't have to pay $1,000. Okay, thanks, Brodie."
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was a statement they made about it, but I don't think I see anything
I
real
doubt it.
quick. But But yeah, we just wanted to, leave your comments below whether you think the PDGA should have had some foresight and like created a warm up area for their world championships of the sport that everyone loves, and they just, got $7 million or whatever in new signups this year or whatever the revenue was. Like,
Yeah, I my statistic, I wouldn't trust that, but I completely agree. Yeah.
well, I
And
saw,
if you guys know anything that, oh, go on, sorry, what?
I was just gonna say I saw that post on Reddit, the numbers you were talking about.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. So that's what I said. I mean, it's a comment, so I can't really state that it was actually legit, but it seemed like he copy and pasted it from somewhere. So I don't know how much validity it held, but yeah, in the comments below, if you guys have anything that any insight in the story on the PDGA side that you can inform us about, greatly appreciated, so we can get two sides of the story. But from what it seems like, they just dropped the ball, but which sucks. But these are like you said, these are the growing pains of the trial and error, and hopefully sooner than later they can fix this and start functioning as like a really top you know open.
Association.
Exactly, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not sure where he copied and pasted that from. I'm trying to see if I can find it, but I do know that the PDGA is a nonprofit. So I'm sure that stuff is public record, like how much money they're getting, where the money's going. Maybe us as disc golfers should maybe look into that and see if we agree with how the sport is being managed. And I don't know. All I know is I think the Disc Golf Pro Tour is doing a great job. They're the ones doing the live coverage for the event. So I don't know. I personally agree more with how the Disc Golf Pro Tour is like creating events and growing the sport and what they're doing. And I haven't really seen a whole lot of positives from the PDGA. Like I just feel like we throw money at them, and I don't really understand what they do. But
Yeah, exactly. So
like
I'm in
this,
the same boat with you. I mean, maybe it's not me doing enough research, but a little more transparency with them might be appreciated. But maybe there's the transparency and I'm just not seeing it, and I just haven't done the research. But yeah, with them being nonprofit, you would think. uh,
yeah, if you're in the comments and you want to teach us something about what's been going on, or maybe we're totally
Right.
off base, please leave a comment below and tell us what's up, and we'll be happy to respond to you.